Hey, what's up, everybody? Whoa, I'm really close to you, and there we go. That's a little bit better. Welcome back to It's in the Blood. Happy Thursday. Happy Monday of week 6. What's going on, Dad?
Oh, just went through and had a great stream over there tonight. Had a lot of fun with a lot of guys. Got talking a
Yeah.
little bit about Halloween and stuff, and
Yeah, I
and
noticed that your metal detecting was spent, we were live hour and a half, and I would say a good 45 minutes of it was no metal detecting all Halloween. I was in and out, but I caught a lot of it. It was nice to see a couple faces in there I hadn't seen in a while and everything. So yeah, I hung out as much as I could. And I don't care what Rob says before he comes in here to bash me when this game ends. I don't care what he says. I think they haven't been able to put up as much on offense, Philadelphia, but it's been a really good game in my opinion. 28 points and is for the Bucks is average. So, it's not like the Miami where they put up 45. So, in my opinion, the Eagles defense is playing well and they just had a little bit of bad luck on offense. And so I'm pretty excited. Like I hate this matchup. You know, and if anybody is keeping track, this is Tampa Bay's fourth primetime game in the first 6 weeks. And so I'm just sick of watching them at this point. So I got to take what I can get because Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the worst days of the week during football season. So, but I've actually enjoyed watching this game. Look, I know they're up 2 touchdowns right now, but they just stopped Brady on fourth down, and they got the ball back with like 7-8 minutes. Probably not enough time to win, but enough time to put up a fight anyway.
I've got to say that this is a step up for Philadelphia. Their
Yeah,
defense is
I agree
playing.
completely.
Their defense is playing right about where we thought they would be. They were started out a very decent defensive team. Jalen Hurts is maturing during this game. I had to go back and when I got out of here and go back and watch the other parts of it, off of TiVo. But I see that he's growing during this game because Tampa's playing pretty good defense.
Yeah,
Which
I mean, they're hurting in the secondary, but still playing good defense. A couple bad PI calls for about 100 yards of penalty. But so Tampa Bay is the third most penalized team. Philadelphia is the most penalized team, and they've held Philly to only 2 penalties this game. And so that's everything about that. Like I am a firm believer, especially if you're watching a game where you don't really care about either of them. And I might be slightly biased because I just hate Tom Brady, but no one can deny that that team is good. Tom Brady's probably having one of the best seasons of his career, and he's been doing this twice as long as anybody else that's still in the league right now. So I can't discredit the Buccaneers as much as I want to. I still think Buffalo is a better team right now, and I still think Dallas is a more effective offense because and I can elaborate that later if anyone wants. But I think that every week I've watched Philadelphia play, I've watched them grow. And they're a young and they're still in rebuild. There's no way they should have even put up 14 points on how good this team is. Tom Brady shouldn't have even given them time. And look, I know Tom Brady doesn't affect the defense, but when your offense is explosive and as good as Tampa Bay's, momentum is the biggest factor in football and any sport, in my opinion. So that should just make their defense play better, and they have stepped up. They lost Richard Sherman in like the third play of the game, and so they're back to that empty hole and on their secondary, and still playing well. Like I said, other than those two huge PI calls, which were both led to touchdowns for Philadelphia. Um, I don't know. I think it's a good game. Philadelphia is down in the red zone right now, or I might be completely wrong on that, but it looks like they're in the red zone. Miles Sanders just had a huge run up the middle, and what I love about the play calling in Philadelphia, it's kind of like take us back to the first Thursday night game, Dallas, Tampa Bay. Dallas knew that D line was insane. They didn't even try to run the ball. They didn't try at all. But they're finding little trick situations and, exploiting that defensive line and being able to run and get good yardage out of it because they don't expect it to come when it does. Now, when they run the ball a play after that, that's just them trying to keep the defense honest. They expect that one coming. But Philly's about to score here, and if they don't, there's no chance for them.
No,
Jalen Hurts threw it away, so it's second and goal, but there's a penalty. I don't know what's going to happen. If it's a hold, he's going to put him back. But, I don't know. Tampa Bay has been very undisciplined in this game with the penalties and everything. Like Amanda says right here, 120 penalty yards, most penalty yards in the NFL right now. That's all I can say about that is they're playing very undisciplined on defense. When, easily after watching other teams play against Tampa Bay's defense and watch where they struggle, this game could easily be tied right now. But this game also could be 28-0 at the same time.
I see, I see Tampa Bay as a team that's they don't have early season problems that other teams have because they brought back their whole roster. They're going to be ahead of everybody as the season goes on. People are going to start catching up as injuries play into that, whatnot. But, they're a solid team. They're probably going to win their division. But the thing of it is that, they went into L.A. out there, and L.A. played a masterful game against them. I just don't see them repeating. They may get to the NFC Championship, but I just don't see them repeating. I can't even take it that far.
A lot of people were still shocked that Kansas City repeated last year, especially with everything going on. Jalen Hurts just ran in for a TD. It's now a one-score game as long as their kicker makes it. I mean, even if their kicker misses it, it's still a one-score game, but it's hard to convert on two against Tampa Bay's defense right there on that line. Which there's 5:52 left in the game. There's still, this Philly defense has started heating up in the second half. They've made some big plays. I mean, they've gave up some big plays, but they made some big plays. But the thing about Tampa Bay, and I want to get as much of this out before Rob decides to show up if he does, because I don't want to argue. I just want to, state the facts, and it's true. It's the facts. I see a lot of flaw yet in Tampa Bay. Their offense is dominant. Tom Brady's playing the best of his life, and he's 44. Even without Gronk, he's being able to hit all these other targets and still win games. They are a very dominant team. And, their issue has been defense, and they're still able to put up 45, 30 points a game. And so, but I think the thing is, it's kind of what's happening to Kansas City right now. And, well, granted, Kansas City's defense is not performing at all, but the offense is being slowed down a bit because they're getting figured out. And I think that's what's happening with Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay isn't as – I don't know how to explain it, but the difference in what Kansas City had been doing and what Tampa Bay is doing is Tampa Bay is just playing football and they're just doing it well. But Kansas City, it was really hard to figure them out because they could do anything and it'd be effective. And so I feel like it's a little bit easier to figure out Tampa Bay's offense. Even if Tom Brady beats you with a deep ball, even if Tom Brady beats you with the short passes, they figured out how he plays. They've had 20 something years of film to watch on this guy. He's getting better, but he hasn't changed. And so I think that's what's going to keep them from repeating. A lot of these people are watching heavily, especially with the fact that they've gotten 4 primetime games in 6 weeks. Everybody in the world is watching them play. People are going to start picking up on stuff and knowing how to slow them down.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that their offense is an open book, catch me if you can type of philosophy. Hey, we're going to sit out there. But they've got such good one-on-one matchups. When you got Antonio Brown going against the third cornerback, against your defense, that's
going to get beat.
Yeah, somebody's going to get beat every time, and whether or not he's going to hit, the open guy or not. I don't think we have any question that they're a really good football team, and they're probably going to win their division pretty easily the way it's looking as of right now. But I don't think they're a dominant football team that's going to go back to the Super Bowl. I never thought it. I thought they were lucky to get there last year because they're about ready to hit the doldrums. Because last year they didn't play well in the regular season.
Well, yeah,
And
I mean, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. I don't care if he's the greatest quarterback that ever lives. Look, going to a new offense, it still leads to early struggles until you get comfortable. Look, I watched a documentary on last year's Buccaneers. It was specifically about the entire season, and they broke down everything. And literally, Brady was getting in arguments with his teammates. He was not clicking at first, even when they were winning games. And then it came to a point everyone started merging together, and then they didn't lose another game after week 8, week 9 last year, up until the Super Bowl. So yeah, like that is why they didn't play so well. Leonard Fournette did not have a good start to his year in Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones was getting the carry. What's up, Goat? I just saw your comment on wherever video it was from the studio. But yeah, thanks for the sub, and thanks for coming over and saying, "Hey, I saw your name pop up," and I haven't really acknowledged the chat too much yet because we've had a lot to talk about. But I saw you, and I want to make sure I said, "Hey."
we'll go ahead and do that before we get too far because we got a good group of our Facebookers in here as well.
Okay, I'll go through the chat. Amanda was in here first a little bit before the stream started, but I've seen her in here since then. So what's up, Amanda? Thanks for hanging out with us. Bucci Benito stopped by, which she is probably, you're one of your biggest supporters for sure. And so it's good to see you, and thanks for coming in here, Dawn. Yeah, I saw a lot of Dawn earlier with you, but thanks for hanging out. And I did see your TikTok. I don't know if I ever said anything about it, but your Halloween setup's looking pretty sweet. Jelicana's in here, just like Bucci, one of our biggest supporters, and we appreciate her so much. Aaron Fabular is from Samurai Beige Clan. He's over here. He says, shout out. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And also Peyton. And I meant to, as soon as I saw Peyton's name, I meant to say something, but I was just in the middle of ranting. What's up, Peyton? It's good to see you, man. Silver Scorpion's in here. We appreciate Silver Scorpion's support as well. Everybody go check out his channel. And let's see. Also, Maria, she said hello. And she said, how are you both? I'm doing well, Maria. Dad's got his mouth full, but I'm sure he's doing okay because he's eating food. So we're doing good. How are you? And Jeff just snuck in here. What's up, Jeff? Sorry to hear about your Brewers, man. Atlanta, they were an underdog. I can't sleep on them. I mean, the Brewers played a good game, or a good series, I should say. They had a great season. You got a lot of good things to take away from that one. So no one should be hanging their head in Milwaukee other than the fact that, they did get an upset, but like Atlanta's a good team fighting through everything. So also Shelby's in here. She should be home relatively soon. I know she's at work.
Yeah.
I pinned in the chat on YouTube Card Sharks, Shelby's new video. She busted into some football cards, 2021 hanger boxes. We got some pretty sweet cards out of that. It was all her though. I'm not going to take any credit. It was a really nice video. So anybody that's got the chance, go stop by and check that out. I pinned it in the link. I pinned the link in the chat. Sorry. And then we got Goat in here. So
hey, Jeff is kind of reinventing himself here lately. Just so you know, he's been on a workout tear for the last, probably 4 months or so. He's lost like 60 pounds, and he's into this mountain biking and stuff in Colorado, along with his treasure hunting. He's out there getting after it. He's looking really good. He's taking care of himself in a really good way, and his channel reflects a lot of what he's done. And if you haven't been over to see Adventures with Goat, he goes live on Fridays sometimes. And also, he always puts out quality content. His video quality is excellent. So give Jeff some love.
Absolutely. Yeah, keep killing it, man. 60 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And I mean, I've heard some of your stories from when my dad early started streaming. I mean, Jeff's a cool dude. So anybody wants to go out and support him. He's fun. And I'm gonna only say this one time because I don't think I can continue saying it. But everybody drop a yee yee in the chat for Adventures with Goat.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah, the Philadelphia's defense is giving up quite a bit right here at the last bit of run. It's probably going to be just about it. They're in the red zone. They did just get a big stop on first down. Leonard Fournette running the ball. Either way, they're probably going to at least come away with 3 points on this. So that's probably game. Beings we're nearing the 2-minute warning. But if there are any Philadelphia natives, Philadelphia fans that see this, don't hang your head because you hung with the Super Bowl champs. As much as it wasn't pretty at the beginning, you can't hang your head after this game.
Yeah, Philadelphia's still got a few things that they got to work out with that
Yeah,
team.
I mean they are in rebuild 100%. They're not even still sure they want to keep Jalen Hurts at this point. They don't have confidence in their quarterback. They've got a really young team. One of their leading receivers is a rookie. Like they've got a lot to work on. Their defense, even though they're 30th in rush yards, but they are ranked number 3rd in the pass game. So that is a lot. And I think that's why this was not a blowout game because they were able to stop this stop this high explosive pass game with Tom Brady. If Brady were to have lost this game, how many I'm not even gonna say Bucks fans. I'm gonna say how many Brady fans were gonna come at everybody making fun of me like, oh, Brady's thumb hurts. That how bad that would have been. That's a part of the reason I wanted the upset because I wanted to hear the excuses. I got called a bandwagoner fan because I said I like Justin Herbert and Josh Allen as a quarterback. So these fans are insane. I don't know how that makes any sense at all. And I also got told I wasn't allowed to like 2 football teams because I said I like the Chiefs and the Bengals. I got called a bandwagoner for that as well.
Hey, I know this game's about to be done. Are you ready to start going through Sunday's games? Because it's a full slate. So,
well, I actually want to take a step back, because we didn't end up staying live through that Monday night game. And we haven't really talked about it since then. I mean, me and you outside of YouTube have, briefly talked a little bit about it, but I really feel like we should go back and I know we shouldn't, focus too much on what's behind us, but this was a great game. And if the Colts secondary had not had to pull from their practice squad to have guys on the team, that was their game. And you sat here and called me delusional that day that the Colts would even have a chance. You went over to Kent Sterling's channel and told a bunch of fans they were delusional for saying the Colts had a chance. And I just want you to publicly tell me you're sorry and tell me that I was right.
you're right that the Colts actually executed a game plan according to what you said they needed to do. I already apologized. I don't feel I should have to do it again. If I said that I did,
Yeah, but everybody was in here and heard you call me delusional. So I feel like I have at least earned that.
I honestly felt like that was a very bold but yet delusional statement at the time. And it really, with all intents and purposes, it should have been bold and it should have been delusional. However, the one factor in that game that I thought was going to fall apart didn't, and that was Carson Wentz. He actually performed up to his caliber for maybe once this year that he's actually stepped up and played his game. I didn't have the faith that he could do that against that team. So, yeah, you're right, but they may lose this Sunday right after that to a team that they shouldn't lose to.
I think that was a heartbreaking game for the Colts fans, but I still think that was a momentum push.
However, you know what? I mean, I feel like that team took a step forward. That was a really impressive thing that they did everything right except for win.
Yeah, and like I said, one, they didn't even get to touch the ball in overtime. And I sat here and told you that if this game happened to go to overtime, Baltimore was coming away with a win either way. So, I did call that, but I never expected this to be an overtime game. But like I said, if they hadn't been dealing with practice squad guys on their secondary, I mean, they gave up 3 back-to-back touchdowns from Lamar Jackson. He had his first 400-yard game. And I think a lot of that had to be from being at home in that crowd. He needed to step up and show out, and that's exactly what he did. I'm not going to discredit Lamar Jackson at all.
You know,
There is nobody to discredit in this team. Look, everyone's talking bad about that Colts defense for what happened, but they lost guys in game. They literally did not have anybody, and so
yeah, I
I,
mean,
I
look at it
think that
like
was
this.
I think that was a
They,
really impressive run to be able to hold them for as long as they did.
just take the first half. They held them to 3 points in the first half, and they had Baltimore's offense completely out of sorts in that time frame. Now, at the beginning of the season, we knew that Indianapolis had a game-changing defense, but could they overcome the offensive mistakes that we thought were going to happen in the first half? The answer was yes. The third quarter, the answer was still yes. It changed at the end of the
Yeah.
third quarter.
Also, there was this tad bit of narrative. Their kicker was hurt.
Yeah,
Um, if he was dealing with a hip injury, that if he had not been dealing with that injury, they wouldn't have even made it to overtime, in my
you're right. This
opinion.
game, the game would have been flat over. But you know what? The only thing that I can go back on this whole thing and give you the best thing that out of the whole experience of that game was I scored 70 some points on Monday Night Football in fantasy to come back and beat Philip by like 9/10 of a point.
Dude, Philip was like, I got this. I screenshotted it also because I meant to send it to you. But we were all talking in our group chat, and you were down 73 points going into that game. And like you said, you beat him by less than a point. And he was like, well, I just need Jonathan Taylor to chill out. And I said, and Mark Andrews. And he said, that won't be a factor. And I screenshotted that immediately. And then because of Mark Andrews at the end, who had literally his career high in every category game. And I said, yeah, it won't be a factor, will it, Philip? And he's just like, pain.
That was funny, dude. I was sitting there watching it come back, and I was like at halftime, I still needed like 30 some points. I'm like, there ain't no way I'm getting it. And then that fourth quarter happened, and it was on.
Yeah, I think like Mark Andrews' grandmother or father or someone had passed away this week, and he had like said, but going into the game, that he was dedicating this game to whoever it had been, that passed away. Which I am not sure on those details. But then after the game, it showed his statistics, and it was first of in every single category, like career highs in receptions, yards, touchdowns, everything. And like that's just insane to me. And the fact that Philip was like, yeah, it won't be a factor. I was like, that is literally Lamar Jackson's, or that is Mark Andrews is Tom Brady's Gronk. And so I was like, you can't ever count him out, but I didn't expect him to have as good a game as he did.
You know,
Yeah, so it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. On Mondays we might start running a little longer, due to Monday Night Football, and we kind of overlap a little bit right there, when it starts. So it's all depending on what we've got to talk about and how fast we get through it and who's in here and what's going on.
but back to the end of the day for that. Um, I don't know if this is temporary, but Lamar Jackson looks to be taking the steps that everybody said that he needed to take to become considered an elite quarterback as far as a passing game as well. If he can
Yeah, if he
continue,
can maintain that, then yeah, 100%. I will give him credit every week, just like I'm forced to give Tom Brady credit every week right now.
and that's the thing is that he's and you were right. Your analysis of Lamar Jackson was that every team was starting to figure out how to play him the first of this season,
And teaching
and they
it was a lesson for him. He was getting taught how to throw the ball basically by getting shut down.
I think not taught. I think being forced into actually working at it is a better term, because if he got in trouble before, he just ran the ball. But it's not working out for him this year as the way that it did in years past. And these teams are playing the right defense, and they've got somebody locked in on him that's as fast as he is. And I think that if he continues on this trend, I may have to change my mind about how far they can go.
I think that all just. I think the future of their season depends on this weekend's game for them. That will be where all the credibility, whichever team wins, who has my up highest vote. Um,
It's
but
this week. It's this weekend's most important game for sure, I think.
I think this weekend's most important game for a lot of teams, honestly. Um, But I wanted to get into one trade before we jump into week 6 picks and predictions and just talking about those games. I woke up to yesterday, I think, sometime. Cornerback Trey Flowers for Seattle. It wasn't that he was performing, he had just previously requested a trade, and they finally released him, and the Cincinnati Bengals jumped on that and grabbed him. So they're filling in for what they wanted with Trey Waynes. And look, I think Zach Taylor's finally evolving. You know, if this year was make or break for him, I think he's finally evolving. I'm not going to give him too much credit because I don't like him. Look, but you have to give some credit where credit is due. Any other time, they wouldn't have even looked at him. They'd be like, let someone else get him, you know. But now you see Trey Waynes, pulling basically an AJ, making like $18 million a year and not doing anything because he's hurt. He's like a John Ross. But I think this is very crucial that they went and got them. Look, I wanted Kansas City to get Trey Flowers so bad. They needed him. They need to get Daniel Sorensen less time on the field. But at the end of the day, when you got an elite player that gets released, and as long as one of my two teams makes an active effort to go get him, I'm happy. And the fact that Cincinnati didn't just make an effort, they went and got him. It was not an effort. They did it. They got it done, and now they have him. This is huge because their defense is not elite, but it is very close. Like, it is very close to getting there. And, there's still a lot of young in that team. And, next year, I think they're going to be even twice as good when that rookie comes back on their defensive end. Yeah, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Trey Flowers pickup and everything because I hadn't talked to you about it at all yet.
Yeah, my thought process was that I did not think that they was going to go after him. But when you're talking about a cornerback that has such size, he
not only size, but he's got 4 years of starting experience.
Well, I was going for that. Usually your cornerbacks are usually 5'11", 6 foot. Usually you don't get a 6'3" cornerback. Usually those guys are playing wide receiver. So having the extra height is a big advantage. I feel like Darius Phillips and Eli Apple are the two weaker links at cornerback, and that's who he's probably going to be competing against. I'm assuming that he's going to take Eli Apple's spot on the field. And Eli Apple, it's not that he's been playing god-awful. He's just had some very tough assignments and been getting picked on quite a bit. But I think this kind of solidifies that. After Devontae Adams played the way that he did, they knew that they had to do something. And Phillip, that was the luckiest stuff ever. You should have won, but I'll take it.
Hey, Phillip, are you ever going to count Mark Andrews out again?
Hey, yeah. I thought it was like 9/10. I wasn't sure. I knew it was somewhere around there. It took that last catch in overtime to get it. But
also, Peyton said, "How are you guys?" We haven't got to see a whole lot of him lately. We're doing pretty good, Peyton. I know you've had a little bit going on over in your world, so I wish you the best with everything you got going on as well. And we definitely appreciate your time over here. I also wanted to show Peyton this. I don't know if Shelby showed him yet, but a guy gave this to us, a Joey Votto patch card out of 50. I'm going to have to add you on Snapchat because I meant to show it to you when we got it, and I don't remember if she got the chance to show you. Also, if you're still in here, Silver Scorpion, he said he had to go work his calling. If you're still in here, thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a few. I know you said you're not much of a sports guy, but you like to hang out, and so we definitely appreciate that.
But I think that's the best thing that they could have done. At least they're showing the fans that they do not want to lose and they're trying to win this year. And I think that's real important for the mentality of the guys on that team. That
I
the,
think
that the
I mean
organization's trying to win.
yeah, I agree right there that I think the organization is finally putting in the effort they need, making the decisions they need to make. I think they're going, I feel like this was a very aggressive situation for them, and we don't see a lot of that usually. And so them, going after Trey Flowers,
Well,
in my opinion, is a game changer. Like they're thinking playoffs, they're thinking postseason now. Like they want to, clean up the small pieces they need. They want to add to it. They want to make better. They actually want to grow and get better. And it's not just Joe Burrow wanting to do it. It's everybody. And the best part is Trey Flowers could have said no, but because of what they've got going on, people actually want to play for them now. And this is huge.
yeah, I was gonna make one other point when you brought that up is that, and this was the point that the reason why I thought they wouldn't go after him is that Mike Brown usually doesn't deal a trade deadline. A few years back, he refused to trade Andy Dalton at the trade deadline when Dalton requested a trade. He does not make a lot of pickups at that point. He would rather be organizationally, sound and do it, through the recruiting. And for him to go out and pick up a pretty decent free agent like that is during midseason says a lot that the organization is evolving.
Yeah, I think everything about the Cincinnati Bengals are evolving. You can turn on SportsCenter now and you're going to actually hear them talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and praising them. I don't remember the last time that happened. Maybe the year they started 8-0. Then
It
that's
was a
probably like the last time.
it was the 12-4 season year, and that was but that was defensive praise that year because the defense was number one.
But either way, it was praise on Cincinnati, and you don't hear that on SportsCenter anymore. Now that Cleveland has gotten better in the last couple years, and Baltimore has gotten better since Lamar, and Pittsburgh has hung in there every year until probably this year. I think this is a first year. I don't think that they're going to maintain, but this is huge. I think people all around the country talking about Cincinnati now is a big deal. Um,
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
only going to make Joe Burrow want it more. And that's what I love about him. He's got a killer mentality. They're comparing Joe Burrow to Tom Brady on talk shows now. And that's not something everybody gets to get said about them.
You know, last year's class of quarterback between Joe and Justin, um, I think that's probably going to be two of your staple quarterbacks for a long time.
I know right now I'm actively trying to get tickets to the LA Chargers coming to town to play Cincinnati this year. They're very expensive, but I'm actively trying to find someone slip up and get some tickets on there.
Do you know where it's so funny you said that. I'm put in with four vendors at work trying to get those same tickets.
Oh yeah, I mean if you can get them, that'll be better for me than if I can get them. But yeah, that's an elite game in my opinion. Like I feel like that is going to be one of the games of the year. Honestly, I could see it being just like that Cleveland Chargers game, a total shootout. It's not that they're playing bad defense, it's just they're playing really good offense on both sides, and keep going and keep going. Like I could see that happening. And it come down to whose defense gets more tired first. I want to see Justin Herbert in person also. I'm not going to lie. Look, call me a bandwagoner for liking two teams. Call me a bandwagoner for liking other quarterbacks. I don't want the Chargers to beat the Chiefs, but I want Justin Herbert to do good because he's great. He just won Rookie of the Year. What do you mean he's not good? Like, I want to go see him in person so bad. Like, I want to see that stud in front of me with that long hair. Like, getting bulldozing defenses because he's huge and jacked.
Yeah, Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. they really made last year's draft, and I think that those two guys are going to be the staple. Because we may have a situation this year where none of these first round quarterbacks are going to be worth a squat.
I
I mean,
mean, that's
honestly.
highly possible. I mean, everyone's making jokes saying that Patrick Mahomes is starting to look like Spencer Rattler, like how they were doing with Jamar with John Ross in preseason. And I'm like, first of all, you can shove that wherever you want to shove it, but get it away from me. Um,
You,
it's
you know
not
the
Patrick Mahomes' fault they're playing bad. He's playing more efficiently than he has, other than the interceptions, which 50% of his interceptions are tipped balls from his receivers.
Yeah, it's just what people are going to do. They're going to look at a stat sheet and see what happened, and then they're going to point blame at the one stat that shouldn't be there, and that's the interceptions. I do think that he's going to have to evolve himself, kind of like Lamar's trying to be more of a passer. I think he's going to have to change his style of play a little bit because I think
I feel
teams are
like I can
learning.
slowly see it now. It's not a big change every game, but I can see it. Like, this is not the same Patrick Mahomes from his first year starting. This is not the same Patrick Mahomes from his Super Bowl year. This is not the same Patrick Mahomes from even last year. He's still the same, but he is changing, and you can tell. And I think he's just getting frustrated that everybody around him is not staying up with his level and they're losing.
Yeah, I mean, and that worries me though that he's getting frustrated. You go back and watch Peyton Manning when he had some of the worst defenses ever in Indianapolis.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
give Peyton a top 10 defense throughout his career, and he'd have as many rings as Brady. You can't change my mind.
oh, probably more
Yeah,
because I've never seen anybody work a 2-minute offense like Peyton Manning to this
I mean
day.
Joe Burrow's getting there on that 2 minute offense. I swear.
But I mean, we concluded a great week of football. Philadelphia had a great showing tonight against Tampa. I mean,
Yeah,
they
it didn't
really
look great, but it was great. There's so
that
much positive.
there's a lot of positive for Philadelphia fans to take out of that game tonight. So no harm, no foul there. Um, I'm ready to go through Sunday's games because I don't know how I feel about some of this.
Okay, I don't know which direction you want to go in, but let's just start with the 9:30 London game because I know that's the first game this weekend.
Yeah,
It's technically I think a Miami home game. They're favored by 3 or 4. And playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And honestly, this is an upset of the week for me. Because there is no home field advantage. I am leaning towards the Jags, even though I think Miami's getting better.
I'm definitely leaning towards the Jags, and honestly, I feel like Miami's getting a little worse right at this point in time. I'm not Jacoby Brissett. I feel like there's a lot of
Well,
well,
I
I feel
think
the same
Tua's
thing for
back
both
this
teams.
weekend too.
I feel like both teams haven't found an identity.
No, I think I mean, Urban Meyer's not trying to find an identity. He's trying to figure it out as he goes, and that's why they're failing. And Miami, they were trying to build an identity with Tua, which is still not the right answer in my opinion. But Tua will be back this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
So I really boil it down to the reason why I think Jacksonville wins this game this weekend, and to make it short and sweet, has nothing to do with quarterback play, has nothing to do with defense. I think it's whoever can run the ball more effectively, and I would take James Robinson over Miles Gaskin any day of the week.
I mean, I do like Miles Gaskin. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like James Robinson is never given credit. He was 1,000 yard rusher undrafted last year, and like I have him on every fantasy team I've ever had since last year. I've been in a couple here and there, and I just feel like he's so underrated that he performs well without anyone noticing. I mean, he didn't have much of a good start to the year, but he's starting to pick it up.
And then one other thing with that I feel that is I feel like Jacoby Brissett needs another target other than Devontae Parker. Like Will Fuller is
I
still
mean,
on
he's
the
got
IR.
Jalen Waddle. He's working. They're getting Jalen Waddle more active.
I, and that's all well and good. I feel somebody that I feel like Will Fuller is a solid target for a backup quarterback. I feel like that kind of guy is something that they need. They don't
Yeah,
have all that
I
right
feel
now.
like Will Fuller is kind of like a Brandon Cooks, and I only say that because they played together, but I feel like very similar style of receiver.
Yeah, not a speedster, but seems to find the open spot in the field.
I
That kind
feel
of
like
guy
he's a Tyler Boyd, man. Like,
with a little less speed. But yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and give Jacksonville the edge on this. I'll definitely take the 3 points that they're an underdog this weekend and take them to win. I think they win on the money line. I think they win the game.
yeah, I mean, if Miami wins, I think Jacksonville covers. Like, it's going to be a close game, if anything. But I really do feel like Jacksonville might get the edge on this. Zach Wilson did not win in London, but you know, Matt Ryan's way more experienced than Zach Wilson, and that's just a fact. But I think Trevor Lawrence can be that rookie that wins over in London this year.
Yep. I'm comfortable saying that they'll probably get their first win. I'm just going to go across this list today as they come across for 1 o'clock on, and we'll go from. It's going to bounce us around a little bit, but it'll be nice and simple. And the first game on the list of my list, of course, will be Cincinnati at Detroit.
Look, I don't even know who's favored in this game, but I feel like Detroit should be, even though they're 0-5. I
Cincinnati's a
think
3.5-point favorite.
I was gonna say I would take Cincinnati to. I'm going to take Cincinnati to cover that. I don't want them to sleep on this team because they're 0-5. What? I'm heading out. Good night, as always. Enjoy the show. See you next week. Thank you, Don. We appreciate that. Yeah, I lost my train of thought mid sentence, but have a good night, Don. I'm gonna take Cincinnati on the points. I think they're gonna win. This is a game they should win, but Detroit is not as bad as what their record is showing them. They could easily be a 2-3 team, 3-2 team area, because of some field goals. But I think that Cincinnati's gonna prove after winning on the road in Pittsburgh that they can stay dominant on the road. In Detroit, I think that this is going to be actually a better game than a lot of people think it will be. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to take Cincinnati by 4 or 5.
I agree with everything you said there. I will take Cincinnati on the money line only. I'm not sure that they cover 3.5 in this game because I feel that
I think it's going to be a bounce back game for their kicker as well.
I feel at home, Jared Goff is going to play well. He's going to go into this game thinking it's a game that he can win. They've got a pretty good running attack. We're not always great against the run, but Jamal Williams is solid.
He's developing into a great player this year.
So they run the same style of offense that Pittsburgh runs, only with an effective quarterback. And that style of offense is usually hard on Cincinnati. So I'm going to say that this game is going to be closer, but I think our defense is a lot better this year than it has been in years past, and that's going to account for a turnover or two in our favor. And I still say we win the game, but I'm not sure we cover.
That's fair. I mean, I think that's okay to not take the points. Because 3.5 is a really tricky spot. If it was 2.5, I would, be even
2.5 I like.
But 3.5, that means they got to score 4. But I'm still going to take them by 4. I'm going to take 4.5, 4 to 5 area. Yeah, I like this matchup, honestly. I'm not going to say they're even teams, but I'm going to say that while Cincinnati's offense hasn't been as consistent as it could be, that's what makes them even teams. Once Cincinnati's offense becomes consistent every week, I think I would put them way above. But until they get there where they're all the time consistent, it's an even matchup for now, unless this is the game that they crank it up and they get things rolling for this year.
Well,
because with a win right here, they can reclaim first place with a Baltimore loss.
The thing about that is that the X factor in this game is not only is it's Detroit's coach.
Dan Campbell. Yeah, that's what I'm having issues with. Is that emotional, passionate breakdown in his interview that could fuel his team? A guy like that to love his team that much, to cry on TV, that could fuel the fire in Detroit. That's why I'm saying do not sleep on Detroit right now.
Trap game. I I still think the Bengals are a better team, but it's a trap game. Hey, going on, speaking of which, last week's opponent, Green Bay, goes to Chicago.
A trap game. Trap game. Trap game. I need a trap game button so I can put it like on the wall. And while we do this every week, I can start beating it. This is a trap game. I think Chicago can upset the Packers in this game. Look, the Packers have not. They were starting to heat up and perform well. Devontae Adams had 200 yards. I don't care about that. If with a receiver having 200 yards, they should have blown the Bengals out, and they didn't. That shows flaw in their offense and their defense. Therefore, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears for an upset. It's not going to be by much.
I'm going to take Green Bay to cover. I still don't think that. I don't think Justin Fields is going to play as well as they think he's going to play, and I think Aaron Rodgers still wins this game by a touchdown.
Look, like Philip just said right here, Rodgers owns Cincinnati, though. Yeah, like that is the narrative. Rodgers should have owned New York in week 1. I mean, New Orleans in week 1. I'm not going to discredit Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to discredit the Packers offense, and I'm not even going to discredit their defense because they stepped up for what Cincinnati has to offer on offense. They stepped up with all their flaws. I'm going to change my pick back to Green Bay, but I'm still calling this a trap game, and I think it's going to be close.
I mean, I'd like to pick Chicago in this game thinking that their defense is that good, but I don't think they can. I don't think Chicago can score 20 points in this game. I think they're going to be around 14 to 20, and I think Green Bay scores 20-24 regardless. So that's why I would rather pick Chicago on their defense.
I just think it's truly a trap game because right now I feel like Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers thinks they're going to go in there and do what Tampa Bay did to Miami and put up 45.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that if Montgomery was still on this roster right now and not on injured reserve.
Yeah, that was the sole reason I switched back to Green Bay. But
yeah, I just think that there's that much going for Green Bay in this. I hate to pick Green Bay. I hate flipping Aaron Rodgers. I don't really particularly care for anybody else on that team. Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones are good. I just don't care for that team. So I would much rather pick Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney.
Look, we're gonna agree that Green Bay should win this game, but I'm just going to say this is a game that I think people should keep an eye on.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be a decent game. Hey, going and talking about potential trap games, or I look for the potential for a letdown. Is Houston going to Indy?
I wanted to agree with you, but after I watched Indy in Baltimore, I can't. Like, I'm gonna take Indy by like 10. Like, I don't care what the spread is. I'm gonna take them by 10.
Yeah, I mean the spread is 10. Go figure. Houston needs an identity, and they have up and down games. And you're probably right.
Before we get too far into this, so the way that Davis Mills has been playing, when Tyrod Taylor comes back, who do you think their starter is going to be?
Tyrod Taylor for sure.
I don't know. I feel like with his luck, he's been benched a lot of times in his life.
No, with Tyrod Taylor at the helm, they were going to beat Cleveland. The way that it looked.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. I've been saying that, but I agree too that I think he should be their starter because that man deserves it.
Davis Mills was the intention of being a year down the road or a backup. He was not intended to come in here and compete.
I don't know if he was intended to ever play. He only played like 11 games in his football career before the NFL.
But you're right, and I always want to bet against. Or I want to bet against Carson Wentz always. But there's a lot of talent on the offense of this team, and their defense is pretty good too. I don't think Houston can throw the ball against them, even though they are kind of weak in the secondary. You're probably right. I hate to
Oh,
take.
here's a hot take right here. Indy is taking an L, but it'll be down to a field goal, and Rigo won't be healthy enough to make it. That
See,
is, I don't agree at all. Like, I usually, her and I are like on the same waves, but I completely disagree. I'm taking Indy by 10. I might even go bold enough to say 14.
wow. I'm gonna I'm gonna take.
Also, Brockton's in here. Well, it was coming up, but you must have clicked it too. What's up, Brockton? He said, "What's up, Shane, Alex, and Shelby?" Also, here we go. Enough said.
Yeah,
Of
I
course, Lance
just
is a bum. But he's a bum who's improving. So I'm gonna continue to call him a bum. But he played one of the best games of his career this week too. So I'm not gonna talk bad on him too much.
yeah. I mean, he's playing good football right now, and I think Houston's just too inconsistent. I'll say Indianapolis covers. God dang, makes me cringe, but I will.
Philip said Indy and Houston tie. Both teams miss multiple field goals in overtime. Look, this is not Green Bay and Cincinnati. Give me the Colts by 10.
Oh my God, Colts by 10. Let's see.
I never thought I'd say that this year, but I mean it. If Tyrod Taylor plays this week, then I change my pick completely. But Davis Mills is a starter. He is still a rookie. He's still not played very many football games in his life. He did great against the Patriots defense, who are really good in my opinion. But he plays Indy by 10. And
So
Philip
next
said,
game,
"I'll take 10 missed field goals."
I
I'm
wonder what the I
I'm
wonder
gonna
what the over and under is on missed field goals as a prop.
Well, if you took the over last week, cheers to that paycheck.
Right on. Hey, gonna move on faster into this so we can get to the next 1 o'clock game, and the Rams go to play the Giants,
I
and the
just
Rams
want
are
to.
a 10-point favorite.
I feel like this could be a trap game, but it's just not. I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry, New York. I'm sorry.
Yep, I'll take the Rams minus 10 for sure.
I'm gonna take the Rams minus like 20. I'm so sorry, New York. Like, I feel bad. I wish you could just forfeit this game so you don't risk any more injuries.
I'm really interested on your take for the next one.
He said, "I'm sorry, Giants," and then Shelby's followed with Rams by 21. Look, that's exactly kind of where I'm at. I think this should just be an L for the Giants. A Rams win. I don't even think they should play this game, but that's why I said it could be possibly a trap game.
If the Rams get up by 10, they should just forfeit.
Yeah, agreed. Move
I'm really
on.
interested on your take on this next one because it's going to say a lot about your character and how you pick a game. Kansas City's at Washington.
Look, I've gotten belligerently beat up on YouTube this week, telling me that this was going to be an upset because they're playing in Washington. And look, I hate this. I hate this matchup because tonight was not a trap game. It was a trap game, but I knew the Eagles were going to show out. But we can come back to that, Rob. I already got a lot out of it, but we'll come back to it just because you're here. Thank you for joining us, and I'll make sure to bring back that discussion. But I want to say that this is going to be a close game. That Kansas City wins but doesn't cover. I want to say that. But after I watched, this was kind of how I felt about the Lions and watched their post game last week. And then, when I watched Kansas City's post game this week, how they were using words like embarrassed, disappointed, underperformed, all this after watching that horrible primetime game last Sunday. I'm going to take the Chiefs by 2 touchdowns. And there's nothing wrong with Taylor Heineke because that is a good football team. I love them and I want the best for them. But their defense is not performing either like they should. Their defense should be close to Tampa Bay's defense last year, close to the Rams' defense last year. They have no excuses and they're just not performing. But Patrick Mahomes is going to figure it out this week. He's going to take advantage of that defense not performing the way they should. I still think Heineke puts up 21 points.
The spread 6.5. I'll take Kansas City minus 6.5.
I almost never take Kansas City to cover because they have only covered like 2 games out of their last like 12.
And the main thing is today is that both of these defenses are in the passing game look like utter and complete crap. I think Patrick Mahomes is miles ahead of Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I'm not going to disrespect Taylor Heineke, and I'm not going to disrespect that Washington offense because they are putting stuff together. They're doing so much better than everyone thought they would.
I don't think they're doing as well as people thought that they would. I feel like they're going to sit at the bottom of that division until they get something figured out. I just still can't understand. I watched them again, and I can't understand what's wrong with their defensive front four. But Kansas City wins by a touchdown. That's
look.
Fair enough.
I think this is truly the make or break game for Kansas City. They lose this game, they're not going to the playoffs, and that's it. Like, it's just that. And I think they know that. And every single member of that team used the words that they were embarrassed. It was the most heartbreaking. I would have rather watched the Super Bowl post game from last year 10 times than have to go through what I went through watching all these, even the coach, the players, everybody. This is their bounce back game because if you have Patrick Mahomes, you still stay in it and you don't let him down. You gave him a 10-year contract. He's not going to let you down. They're going to step up and they're going to work with him because they know. They also lost Joe Thuney. He fractured his hand at the beginning of the game on Sunday.
Yeah, the one thing that has to change is in this game for this to be the 2 touchdowns that you want it to be is Patrick Mahomes can't throw interceptions.
Like I said, one of them last week, Gregory Rousseau made the play of his career thus far. And the other one, Tyreek Hill, gave the other team an interception. It was his fault. Look, I don't like to point fingers at anybody, but yeah, you're right. The turnovers can't happen.
Regardless of situation, you can't have 6 interceptions in 4 games and expect to win. That's however it plays out. You just can't expect that, and that has to end. That's the first thing that has to end. And then your defense has got to play better, which I think the defense has an opportunity to rebound this week a little bit.
I think they need to take Dan Sorensen from playing 100% of defensive snaps, move him down to about 25, and let Juan Thornhill play that other 75% because for whatever reason they won't play him more than 25% a game, and he is the difference maker on that defense right now. If you can cut Dan Sorensen's snaps back, and Shelby said it right here, Dan Sorensen, you cut his snaps back, and I think everyone's going to start performing because I think that defense is starting to turn on him.
Probably so. Hey, this one here feels like man, I don't really know what I feel. Minnesota's at Carolina at 1:00.
This is probably one of my hardest games to pick, and I watched Wyatt's World's Week 6 predictions yesterday, and he has a Minnesota Vikings Buffalo Bills fan, and he's Minnesota because he lives in Minnesota, and he's Buffalo because he's loved Buffalo for a long time. I don't know where it came from. He just does. But I wanted to listen to his pick on this specifically because he's a fan of that team. And he said that he personally feels like at this point it could end in a tie. Like he said if CMC comes back, he's leaning towards Carolina, and CMC is going to play this weekend. And I agree. I'm also leaning towards Carolina. If this was in Minnesota, I might have leaned more towards Minnesota. But it's going to be a Carolina home game instead. I think after Sam Darnold's going to bounce back from an ugly game last week, and CMC is going to come back, and everybody's going to, start playing a little bit better on offense. And I think that they're going to edge this one out. Shelby said, never mind, Carolina by 10. I'm going to take Carolina by a touchdown, but a very, very late touchdown. Like, it's going to be like a game-winning field goal. In the last 2 minutes, they're going to get a late touchdown with CMC becoming the hero and rescuing the team.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to take the Vikings -2. I'll have them to cover, and I got one reason why. Kirk Cousins has been performing at the quarterback slot. Sam Darnold has hit a snag, and I'm still a believer that whoever turns the ball over the least amount of times is going to win the game, and I feel like Minnesota takes better care of the ball.
I think Minnesota has been lacking on offense. After like I don't even remember the game last week, but after watching them play that Cleveland game, and it just some of the decisions Kirk Cousins made, like it just irritates me. Um, so if it comes down to a turnover battle, I am going to take Sam Darnold over Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins has made some poor decisions this year. Sam Darnold had one bad game. Kirk Cousins has had a lot of bad games, in my opinion, this year. Even with good stats, he's made bad decisions that I don't agree with.
I, yeah,
Oh, Rob, he said, I'm talking about Christian McCaffrey. He said, when you use initials, I don't know what you're talking about. CMC is probably the Christian McCaffrey. CMC is probably the only one that I will every single time use his initials because he's got a relatively long name, and most, Panthers fans at least know CMC by CMC. Any other player, I'll probably just say their name.
yeah. So it's kind of
I'm just
a
gonna put this up
differentiating
here
opinions.
because I enjoy it.
Hey, I think the next game is the game of the week, absolutely by far, and it's going to be the Chargers are at Baltimore.
Yeah, I think both AFC North teams, the Chargers at Baltimore or wherever it's at, and the Cardinals-Browns games are tied for me for the 2 games of the week, definitely, in my opinion. And I have one severe trap game, and we'll get to it. We haven't made it there yet. But, so we're starting with the Chargers game?
Yeah, Ravens are a 2.5-point favorite at home.
I'm taking the Chargers. Give me that Justin Herbert. Look, Lamar had a really great game. The best passing game of his career against a broken Indy secondary. Well, he had the best half of his career, I should say. All of his performance was second half, and it's whatever. But okay, I'm not gonna go this far. No, but I think I'm going to take the Chargers by a touchdown in overtime.
God, man, I feel like that's awful ambitious.
Dude, give me Justin Herbert. Give me Justin Herbert all day, every day. Look, Lamar is improving, and I'm giving him credit where credit is due. That does not come out of my mouth ever. I wish Colin was in here so he could enjoy that. But I'm going to say Lamar Jackson is actually proving to be a good quarterback for once. And he's not a running back anymore. He's getting to be a good quarterback. And so I'm going to take the Chargers because Justin Herbert is I love him. Look, if it's a quarterback battle to me, and I got Herbert because Herbert can run the ball. He just doesn't want to, and he's got Mike Williams, and he's got Austin Eckler to run the ball effectively and be in the pass game. And then he's got Keenan Allen, who is a top 10 wide receiver that's kind of shadowed right now under Mike Williams. If Ravens win the coin toss, I could see them maybe inching a win in overtime. But right here, Herbie's so big, he's hard to drop. I'm going to take Justin Herbert. He's been making a lot better decisions in year 2. He's getting better every day. I'm watching him become the most elite quarterback in the game every single day. So I have to take the Chargers somewhere between 3 and 7. I don't care if it's at home because the Colts about spoiled that last week.
Yeah, I'm not going to go as ambitious. I'm going to take the Chargers with the 2.5 and call it a day.
Oh, I thought when you said I'm not going to go that ambitious, you were going to take Baltimore, and I was like, no. After we get through all the weeks, I'll tell you the 3-leg parlay I put in.
Yeah, let's be clear. I mean, the Chargers haven't performed very well on the road against decent defense. I mean, they went to Washington and just about got beat. So,
yeah, but that was week 1.
I know, but
no week 1 game counts of who's what team,
Yeah, but it's still valuable information. It's still valuable information as far as a trend. And
but
I feel
Pittsburgh beat Baltimore in week 1. I mean Buffalo. home in Buffalo. Look, I'm not counting week 1 games as anything. You can
Yeah,
see them 2
like I
weeks
said,
from last year or
I like the Chargers, but I don't like them. I like them with the 2.5 points, which I'm going to take what I'm given just because I feel like the game is a lot closer than what it might seem like it is.
I'm comfortable with saying the Chargers on the money line. But I'm just going scenario in my head, and I'm only saying 7 if they go to overtime. If it's not in overtime, it's going to be by 3.
Fair enough. Let's move on. We're done with all the 1 o'clock games. We'll move right into your next favorite game of the week: Arizona at Cleveland.
Arizona is going to be 6-0. Sorry, Philip. Look, this is a game that Cleveland should be able to win because I don't know why nobody can stop Arizona. But I'm not going to take the points. I'm just taking the money line because I don't know what's going to happen. But look, you got J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones going to disrupt Baker Mayfield a little bit. And you got Buda Baker in the backfield to catch his mistakes. And so I'm going to take the Chargers on this. Yeah, Stefanski has never lost 2 games in a row since coaching the Browns. Look, there's a first for everything.
That's a stat that doesn't have a lot of backup as far as games played. I mean, he's only in his second season.
Yeah, and the Philadelphia Eagles have never in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles lost on Thursday Night Football until today. So
You know,
things were meant to be broken.
I'm I'm kind of with Philip. I think Cleveland's going to perform, but as far as the way the betting goes, I'm taking Arizona with them free 3.5 points for sure.
He said, I'm taking my team by 2 scores. Look, if I'm taking either team by 2 scores, if it comes down to a pass game, Kyler Murray's got Baker beat. He's got more wide receivers. Look, this is why I'm taking the Cardinals. Look, they don't have very many receivers that are catching the ball consistently for Baker. How are you going to say that no Jarvis Landry, and I'm going to say no OBJ because he's pretty much irrelevant, and you've got rookies and, wide receiver 3s on your team catching
Well,
balls for you, but going against DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Rondale Moore catching balls. Look, if it comes down to a pass game, Cleveland can't win that game.
well, the only way that Cleveland can win this game is if it stays on the under, it's and which is 49 and stays on the under, and they have ball control and they get to run the ball because Arizona's rush defense is not that great.
Yeah, but I think Arizona can play the same run game with Kyler Murray, and they've got James Conner, who's getting better with this team as the year progresses. I'm gonna take Arizona to be the 6-0 team. I have to. Like, I feel like I can't take the Browns this week. There's a lot of times I have taken the Browns.
I'm just taking the points because they're there. I think it's going to be a really close game.
OBJ shouldn't be in the doghouse for that fourth down pass drop. The Cleveland front office should be in the doghouse for keeping OBJ. And they need to let that man go. Get somebody else. There's just no connection there.
Here's a game that I just could care less about. Las Vegas at Denver.
Go Denver. I want to see Vegas fail. Like, I've been saying that. I got Denver taking this because it's in Denver, right?
Yeah, Denver's a 3.5 point favorite.
Look at the divisional game with a struggling team that has no head coach, that has lost their first game of the year, lost their second game of the year. They're going to lose their third game of the year back to back to back. I told you one loss for the Raiders, and it was going to start their streak of losses. And this situation with Gruden didn't help anything. I'm going to take Denver by a touchdown. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to get back to where he needs to be. I know he's lacking on offense because some of his top receivers are down, but I'm going to take them. Melvin Gordon's going to have a good game if he plays. And I think, the receivers they have, Cortland Sutton, he's a good guy. They're going to get it clicking. I don't think that Vegas can pull off this upset.
No, Denver minus 3.5. I'll take that. They should cover that. Call it a day.
Yeah, I mean these divisional games in that West right there are really, really good. even if both teams are really, really bad. And so, like, I'm not gonna count out the Raiders, but I I'm expecting Denver to win this game because they got their ass kicked by the Raiders last year. And now that they got a team they know they can beat them with, I don't think they're going to hold back anything. They're going to go for the throat on this game. I was trying
You
to give OBJ some time. He needs to step up. Both of them need to figure out what the hell they're doing with each other. Nah, they need to get some trade value with OBJ while they still can and give him someone else.
yeah,
Get him
like right
someone else in
now.
there. Yeah, right now is the time. Go give him at least get some draft picks for him, if not another receiver.
And we got one more 420 game this week. Dallas is at New England.
I honestly, every YouTube video that I've watched about this thinks it's going to be like a 45-0 game. I feel like everyone's automatically discrediting Mac Jones because he played Houston. I'm man, this is such a win or lose situation for me. But I'm gonna root for the Patriots on this game, and I'm gonna say that I think this is a trap game. That they think Dallas is gonna blow everyone out, and you know, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the only way the Patriots win is if they score on every drive. But I do think it's possible. Just don't throw the ball near Trayvon Diggs, and you'll be able to move the ball down the field.
Yeah, I, I
I'm
would like to. I
I'm
would
gonna
like to.
go bold and take the Patriots on the money line. I know that it just does not seem likely. But I think Bill Belichick has been watching the Dallas Cowboys and he's figuring out something, some kind of game plan to at least slow them down. And so I'm gonna give Bill Belichick a little bit of credit here, and he's gonna make this a good game.
I think it's going to be a lot like the Tampa Bay game.
Which
I think
one?
it's good. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's not going to be.
I mean,
Uh,
if it's raining, I'm gonna take the Patriots either way. If it's in New England,
uh, God, I. You know what? The money. This. It's minus 3.5. Dallas is the favorite. I don't like that spread.
I ain't
Uh,
saying it again, but I'll post it up here.
uh,
uh,
minus 3.5. I don't particularly care for, but
I
I'll take.
hope I'm wrong and
I'll
that
take
Dallas
Dallas to
loses
cover on
this
the road.
game, but I am going to be the out of sorts bold person and say New England on the money line, not the points, just to spice things up a little bit because I have not picked as many upsets this week as I have in the past few weeks. So I'm holding my breath saying this because it's such an irky feeling. I just hate Dallas right now. I mean, I always hate Dallas, but I'm gonna take Mac Jones and Bill Belichick to figure something out. Did Alex just say she'll take the Patriots? Yeah, I hate I hate the Cowboys more than I hate the Patriots. I only hated the Patriots as bad as I did because I hate Tom Brady. Now that he's gone, I don't hate the Patriots. I realized it was always Brady to me, and so I'm gonna yeah I hate this game. Like I hate Dallas so much. Like I'm gonna okay taking the Patriots. And I'm gonna watch that game closely because I'm holding my breath. It really everything hurts on my inside right now.
I really hope Mac Jones has a very proficient game and it's a good game, but I still take Dallas minus
I
three
think
and a
Mac
half.
Jones is growing every week.
Yep, I don't trust him yet. That's exactly right. I'll take the Cowboys, even though I hate it. Seattle at Pittsburgh at the 8:20 game.
This is such a terrible. I hope they flex one of the AFC North games, like the Arizona Cleveland or the Baltimore Chargers game. I hope one of those gets flexed seriously because now that Russ is out of the equation and Ben Roethlisberger is freaking Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers don't even deserve a primetime game in my opinion, but they have to get one, and they've got like 4 this year, and this should be a Pittsburgh win. It should be because their offense is looking better. I'm
You know,
going to take Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks to get this dub, and they're going to fight for their quarterback while he's healing.
I I never like saying this. I'm going to go ahead and take Pittsburgh to cover.
I just can't say it out loud. Like, I refuse.
It's -5, and here and this is, you're going to laugh at this. I think they're a better team without Juju on the field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like Baker with OBJ. It's Juju. You know, they got Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. If they start – I hate the Steelers, man. I don't even want to tell them how to get better. But if they start putting Chase Claypool in the slot instead of using him as a deep ball target, I feel like they're going to average like 350 to 400 yards a game because of him. And, you know, with Deontay Johnson being their deep ball target, they got Najee Harris starting to warm up. Seattle's defense is horrible, which is why Pittsburgh has this edge right now. And they just lost Trey Flowers on top of that. I think Pittsburgh should win this game with ease. But I'm going to say Geno Smith and the Hawks rally around their quarterback because they know they can't afford to lose that many games in their division, and they're going to rally for Russ. And I hope this game gets pushed down to at least a 4 o'clock game. Like, seriously.
All right. Last but not least, Buffalo at Tennessee.
My biggest trap game of the week. Tennessee's horrible, in my opinion. But this is the upset I am deeply searching for the week. I think Derrick Henry is going to outsmart that run defense that has shut everybody down. Whether it be in the pass or the run. Remember that stiff arm against Buffalo last year? He's going to be doing that every play of the game. He's going to be throwing these defenders down. He's going to, get big. Like, I don't know, he's going to turn green and turn into the Incredible Hulk, and he's going to go Kerouac on their asses. Look, Derrick Henry for 65 fantasy points to carry this team on their back. Nothing against Buffalo because I like them, but I think someone needs to shut them down, and this is such a trap game because they should destroy Tennessee with ease. So I'm gonna give me Tennessee so I can piss everybody off, every Buffalo fan and Buffalo bandwagon fans who have been attacking me because they're calling me bandwagon, but they all of a sudden everyone's a fan of Buffalo now. So I'll give me Tennessee because I hate them. I hate them so much. I don't want that to happen. Give me Tennessee. I don't even care how many points. I literally don't care.
It's 5.5 is what the spread is. You
Look
get
at
5.5.
But realistically, I think Buffalo is going in cocky, and they're going to lose by a last-second TD. Right there. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this.
Here, are you ready for the potential for another apology? I think you're delusional.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have to apologize to anybody because I don't use hurtful words like that.
I think that's a delusional outcome. I don't think that happens at all.
Yeah,
Buffalo gives up 78 yards rushing per game. They give up the fewest points, the fewest overall yards.
That Derrick Henry's going to put up at minimum 150 with 2 TDs.
But he's
going to pull a Jonathan Taylor on Baltimore.
I'm going to change your mind right here.
Change my mind. Be ready. There we go. Be ready to eat your words again, Shane.
No.
Well, I'm so thankful that she is backing me today because I needed this right now.
If Buffalo gets the lead, and you know how football games go, if Buffalo gets ahead in this game, they're not going to be able to sit and run the ball from behind. They have to throw. They cannot throw against this team.
Look, they're getting their receivers back. That's why they've been struggling on offense. Is Derrick Henry can't do everything for them, but now they're getting their receivers that have been hurt back. That changes things. They're going to be able to spread their offense around a little bit more.
I'll take Buffalo -5 all day, every day.
I mean, 5 is as much as I'll give Baltimore or Buffalo if they win. And that's exactly what I said about Baltimore. Trap game. Everybody is going to be watching. We'll be on here. I'm going to be live during that whole game. So if I'm wrong, you can all come in here and make fun of me. Look out for A.J. Brown. He's going to have a breakout game this week against Buffalo. They're going to show the world that Buffalo can be beat. I do not count that Steelers loss because it was week 1, and I said what I said. Week 1 victories and losses don't matter to me. That's their extra game of the year is their week 1 game. And so here we go. Here's another one. Derrick Henry can also catch passes. Kick his ass, Seabass. Look at this. This is the biggest trap game of the week. And this game should realistically be, like I said, the Rams and Giants game was going to be. But I said we're not going to talk about it because that's how bad it's going to be. But, the Rams don't need to get their head too big. But I feel the exact same way. Realistically, this should be as poor of a matchup as the Rams and the Giants. Sorry, Giants fans, once again. But Tennessee has the potential to be a playoff team. They're going to be a playoff team just because their division sucks. But they have the potential to be a legitimate playoff team. And I said what I said. Like, this is my trap game of the week. Now, wait, where is this game at? I'm pretty sure it's in Tennessee, right?
Yep.
It is in Tennessee. Tennessee has been able to upset some big names over the years. They beat Kansas City at home last year on a 4:00 game, and it really, pissed me off, which they never should have, but they did. They can beat good teams at home. Keep calling me delusional, because every time you call me delusional, it seems like I'm right.
I hope that happens. I hope I apologize again because
I don't understand the ghosts, but spooky.
I just can't see any upside. I really don't.
This is exactly what you told me about the Colts. Like, we're having the same conversation again. You looked me in my face, called me delusional.
Yeah, but okay. Fair enough. I know you want to go back to that, but you also said the Giants was going to beat up on Dallas, and Tampa Bay was going to get whipped last weekend too, and those were nowhere near what happened.
I did not say Tampa Bay was going to get whipped.
You said that Miami could go into Tampa Bay and win that game. They lost by fucking 20 points. So, I mean, it's the same type of scenario. I don't know what your heart on is for Buffalo right now, but Buffalo's the best team in the AFC.
Buffalo is the best team in the NFL. I'm going above AFC. They are the best team in the NFL. But even the best teams can lose games.
No, I completely understand that. I mean, and you threw the first week out again, the Buffalo game out at home against Pittsburgh. So yeah. They just don't give up the ghost on defense. And you're going to say that Tannehill can outplay Mahomes?
Right now, I feel like Tannehill's receivers aren't going to throw the ball up and give up interceptions. I mean, Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers, top 5 receiver in the league, and he's giving up interceptions. That's not Mahomes' fault. So right now, the way that Kansas City's playing, yeah, I can see Ryan Tannehill playing better this week than Mahomes.
Okay, I mean, I just can't fathom this one in any shape of the imagination.
I hate Ryan Tannehill. I hate the Tennessee Titans.
I
just think this is a trap game.
I feel like last week there was a better chance of me eating my words on Indianapolis' defense than I am on Buffalo's.
You gave me a 0% chance last week.
I mean, but at the end of the day, they didn't win.
They should have, but they didn't. Their kicker was hurt, and they were up 20-something points. That was Lamar's biggest comeback game of his career.
I know. At the end of the day, they still didn't win the game, though. So
there we go.
I'll go with this one.
Drops Mike.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Philip, why do you keep calling everybody a diet everybody?
The diet Adam Gase.
I also heard on an NFL memes page that Adam Gase was trying to become the Raiders' new head coach. I said, give him to him. Go ahead.
You know what? That's probably the best. That's probably one of the best jobs in the NFL.
Who, being Ryan Gase?
No, being a Raiders head coach.
Adam Gase. I don't know where I said Ryan, but.
I hope you're right because I think Buffalo needs to be knocked down a little bit for competitiveness for the AFC. This doesn't seem like this is the game, and the only way that happens is Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in Derrick Henry after seeing what he's been able to do here and there. They had a bounce back game last week after losing to the Jets, and yeah, I get that they played against the Jaguars, but the Jaguars defense. Look, I'm not even gonna say offense because like their offense has no identity. They're horrible, but their defense has really stepped up. I mean, their defense put 14 points on Arizona, so their defense isn't the world's worst, and Derrick Henry destroyed them.
Yeah, I just look at that offense and Buffalo. Other than the Pittsburgh game, Buffalo's averaging over 35 points a game. I mean,
Yeah, I just think that even if Tennessee doesn't win, and this is where I got to at the end of our discussion about Baltimore and Indy, where I got to, even if the Colts can't win, even if Tennessee can't win, I don't think they're going to allow Buffalo to put up 40 points.
God, I hate this to be a Monday night game. I want to play it on Sunday.
Why Sunday?
I just want to see it. You got me wanting to watch the game. If nothing else, I want to watch the fucking game.
You know, I'm getting really good at getting people worked up about football games they don't care about. I have a lot of people that tell me, they're like, because of you, you make me want to do this. And it's because of this show and, you know, all the 12 people, 11 people, whoever that's in here right now. I love you guys because other than Philip and Shelby, I think nobody else here. Oh, and Amanda, if she's still here, of course. I don't think anybody else really watches sports. They just hang out with us. And so, but, you know, I got Jeff back into the sports game. He was a Brewers fan, but he wasn't a sports person. And, you know, all these other people, I love you guys. And thank you so much for hanging out with us. I think, you know, I appreciate everybody, each and every one of you, even if you only stop by for 5 minutes a week. That 5 minutes means everything in the world to me. We couldn't be where we're at without every single one of you. And you guys keep me going every day because I have not had this much fun doing something like YouTube or anything like that in a long time. I'm so thankful for you guys because you guys make this fun for me. And Brockton, of course. Brockton does watch a little sports.
He just likes to go against whatever you want.
He just likes to do what the refs do with Tom Brady in the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
just playing, Brockton. We love you. I get what you mean. I dropped Jones and I haven't really looked back. Yeah, I feel like Julio and AJ Brown and Derrick Henry are the recipe to succeed against Buffalo. But if you take a look at Tennessee Titans, and I watched the highlights of their game. I watched the end of the Jets game, and I watched bits and pieces here and there. But they have some receivers that are like wide receiver 3, 4, 5 area that are sneaking up, that are, you know, getting some shine without people watching them. They're taking a couple receptions here, getting a slight touchdown here. They got Anthony Fursker, the tight end. You know, they are to Ryan Tannehill's figuring a way how to get other guys involved and keeping them unnoticed. So I feel like this could be this. I feel like AJ Brown and Julio Jones and even Derrick Henry in the pass game could all be distractions to these other guys to get them the ball and get them to move down the field. Like, I feel like they have to know with Buffalo coming to town on prime time after that massive win against KC. I don't care how much I love KC. That was probably the biggest win. You know, 2 teams this year got their Super Bowls in Arrowhead already, Baltimore and Buffalo. Not saying that either of those teams could not go to the Super Bowl because they both could the way they're playing right now. But after coming off a win like that, Baltimore turned around and almost lost to Detroit. So I think that alone, that huge win, that huge ego booster, like I feel like that's only going to hurt them going into another primetime game, but on the road again. Like if they went back home this week, it didn't matter who they were playing. Tampa Bay, Baltimore, it doesn't matter. If they were going home this week, they would dominate at home. but they're going back on the road again. I don't know. I just feel like this is all the little things that I'm saying that could make it a trap game. Because look, Josh Allen has matured a lot, but he still has some room to grow. There are still little faults. And Tennessee is a very black and white Ryan Fitzpatrick team. They can look bad one week and look amazing the next.
I'm going to give you the analogy, the best description of this game that I can think of, and then I'll absolutely quit. Cincinnati going to Tennessee last year.
Cincinnati is historically good against Tennessee. I can't use that argument.
I can make it because they got the lead and they contained Henry, and then there was nothing. It was like they were playing against fifth graders. Once you get ahead, Buffalo scores the most points. They will be up. They will score 10 points the first quarter regardless. If Tennessee doesn't match those 10 points, it's hopeless. Indy did exactly what they needed to do to win against Baltimore, but Baltimore has a lot more chinks in the offense than fucking Buffalo.
I mean, yeah, I don't disagree at all. Like I'm with you. Baltimore should blow this game out of the water. Realistically, that's what should happen. Just like Baltimore should have, realistically, against the Colts. But every single primetime game this year, unexpected things have happened.
I like the fact that you found a game and you're going to stick to it, and regardless, I just didn't see this one as being one of those games at all.
I don't know. I have all week have been feeling this game ever since they started previewing the commercial every day. You know, I've dove into this one. I've broke it down. I've looked at everything. I've pictured every possible outcome. Yeah, Buffalo should win this with ease. But I'm not going to give up this easy. I hate Tennessee just as much as I hate Dallas, just as much as I hate Pittsburgh, just as much as I hate Tom Brady.
Well, you know what? You know what's awesome about this is that we get to revisit this Monday night.
All night long. So everybody that's in the chat right now, this Monday, our next stream is probably going to get ugly after the first hour once we start rolling into this game. So be sure to hit that little bell notification on our video so you get notified the second we go live on Monday. I think that, it might be our most, let me find a good word, explosive stream yet. And so I want to make sure everybody that witnessed all of this conversation is in here on Monday. So in the off chance that I am right, we can all attack him into apologizing to me because he never actually apologized on the stream for last week. He tiptoed around it.
Oh, I apologize, but not on the stream. And I'll apologize for it. I apologize for saying that Indy was going to get their ass kicked. They should have. They should have got it kicked. They end up losing the game, but I apologize for calling you delusional.
Thank you.
And then I will call you delusional on this one here too.
You already called me delusional. I don't need a second one.
I'll call it again.
Look, I hope to see everybody here next week. Everybody that's in the chat, there are 10 people in the chat right now. I have a pinned video in the top of the right at the chat that I pinned before the stream started. Before you leave here today, please click that link. Drop a like button. Watch it if you're into cards. If not, just leave us a positive comment. To help YouTube push that video out a little bit, because Shelby did a phenomenal job on that. I edited the video, but I did not have to edit it all. She did amazing, and I am so happy with it. And there are some really awesome cards in there. So if you guys can take just a minute to check that out and show it some love, I will be forever grateful. I want to see it do well, and I know Shelby does too, and she did a really good job on it. I'm very proud of her because sometimes she is a little awkward with the camera still, and so she's getting better every day. And so I just want everyone to go see how well she did on that video. But I definitely cannot wait for Sunday now. And of course, I am very ecstatic for Monday because I'm ready to take any of the beating that you're going to throw at me, or I'm ready to live in that glory when I have to get to hear you say I'm right again. Um, Either way, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, it
Um,
don't matter. It's all fun.
Before we get off here, if is all right, I lost my train of thought. It's been a long day for me. I've only been awake for 4 hours today. It's been a long day. Um,
It's been a long day. You've only been awake for 4 hours.
Cards are gonna take that L. Yeah, Philip. Oh yeah, my parlay. I meant to tell you. I said once we got through running through, I took a big 3-leg parlay with a decent payout, and it is attacking everybody in the AFC North except for Pittsburgh because I don't trust that game. But I got the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Chargers in a 3-leg parlay that's going to make me a lot of money this weekend. So for all Ravens, Lions, and Browns fans, I am not sorry. That is all 100% towards you, Philip. I am not sorry. I'm excited to win some money. I was kicking Shane's ass, then he humbled me. That was probably my favorite fantasy matchup ever because Philip was like early in the day talking about how he comfortably was going to win. And then later on, he was like, "Oh, as long as Jonathan Taylor doesn't do anything." And then I said, Mark Andrews, he said, "Nah, not a factor." And Mark Andrews said, "Hold my beer. I'm going to have the best game of my life." I don't know, that was like a heartbreaker. I felt bad for Philip, man, because he really, you go into a 73-point lead, you don't expect to lose. And I didn't expect him to lose either, but Jesus Christ.
The
It
two
took
2-point
off.
conversions. I mean, he had two 2-point conversions at the end too.
It was, I don't know, man. He said it was like Mark Andrews came down and personally stiff armed me. Well, just when he played Colin, that was the game that Derrick Henry had 47.7 yards and murdered Philip too. I feel so bad for Philip this year. The losses he's taken, other than the one to me, have been brutal. She said you've personally been victimized by Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews. I love this fantasy group. I hope next year we can get at least 10 so we can make things a little bit more interesting.
I'm
If
sure.
if by this time next year we still have a good group doing it, I might make a dynasty team so we can just keep our teams every year. Um, we're obviously too late into the season to do that. Oh, Shelby's talking shit. He's about to take another L this week too. Shelby's coming at him. She beat me last week, and for anybody who doesn't know, she is the only person to have beat me this year, and I'm not happy about it, but there was nothing I could do.
There's gonna be at least 1 or 2 weeks every season that you're gonna get beaten, and there's gonna be nothing that you could have done about it.
Amanda said, "Hey, all of you at least have one win." I do feel bad because Amanda's had a lot of really close games too. Um, she almost beat me, but Dak Prescott decided he didn't want to throw the ball that day, and he ran the ball the whole game. And so that's the only reason she did not beat me because it was a very close game. And so Amanda's just like a few points away. Also, I want to address this right now. And since almost everybody that does fantasy is in here right now, Amanda, how the hell did you get Antonio Brown? And Rob, if you're still in here, why the hell did you drop him? I'm so confused. How did that happen? I just want everyone in here because I could not see it on the transaction log. So I didn't see how it happened. How did you get Antonio Brown? Rob had Tampa Bay's team locked up. What did Rob do? How did he mess up that bad?
I have no idea.
Oh, Philip, you had Antonio Brown? Because I thought Rob had him. But then I looked at these teams this morning or last night, and Amanda has Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I just assumed Rob had him. You dropped him 2 weeks ago. I don't know why you dropped him. I mean, I understand he was out or sick or whatever. I swear I thought Rob had him because he had everybody on the Bucks team, except for their defense, which I have locked up on my bench. Well, I played them today, but no, I didn't. I played the Colts today. You dropped him for what? Mike Williams. I wish I would have known you dropped Antonio Brown. I probably would have swooped in and just put him on my bench with the Tampa Bay's defense, so no one could have him.
I've done that before too.
I've been doing that. I've been hoarding Joe Burrow. I've been hoarding a couple defenses. I'm not even playing them. I haven't. Some of those guys on my bench I haven't played once this year. I just put them on the bench so no one could have them. Nope, the Dodgers beat the Giants. Boo! Can we get an F in the chat because everyone's tired of the Dodgers? Please drop some Fs. Because I'm pretty sure there's no Dodgers fans that watch our show. We got 2 Fs. Everyone drop an F for the Dodgers winning. I really wanted the Giants to win. The Giants deserve to win. Congrats, Giants, you blew it. Yeah, basically. I think it said Cody Bellinger. Go ahead, RBI single in the 9th. Fuck the Cubs. Yeah, what he said.
Hey, just for the record, though, I play Amanda this week, and she put up 55 points tonight.
Who'd she have? Oh, Antonio Brown.
Leonard Fournette and Antonio Brown.
Oh, there we go. There's a bunch of Fs in the chat. I'm living for it. No one likes the Dodgers, man. Good night, guys. Got to wake up early tomorrow and not work. I respect the heck out of that. I got to wake up early tomorrow and actually work, which...
There you go. There you go, Philip. I think your Amanda might beat me this week. How's that? Would that be vindication enough for you? For my miraculous BS comeback?
Dude, you miraculously beat Philip while being down 73, and then Amanda comes and swoops in and beats you. Dude, Antonio Brown or Tom Brady is basically a safe bet this year. It's a consolation prize. Shelby said, why am I not seeing all the comments? Whose comments are you not seeing?
Does she have it in top chat, not live?
Yeah, she might. Click the setting next to the X where you would X out off of the chat, Shelby, and switch from top chat to live chat, and it should show you everything. Also, I'm still happy with all these Fs in the chat because I seriously hate the Dodgers. Good night, Brockton. I know you're saying good night to GOAT, but have a nice night, Brockton. Hope everything goes well for you tomorrow, whatever you may be doing. Nothing. Well, this has been real fun tonight. We're inching close to the 2-hour mark. I have to go back to work in the morning, and I know you are going metal detecting in the morning. So we've got pretty early nights ahead of me. Did you click a Facebook link, Shelby? Is what Phillips said. I don't know. I think he's talking to Shelby. I don't think you're talking to me. That was my issue last time. But yeah, Philip, I remember because Philip was typing in the Facebook chat, and then he was like, later, midway through the stream, he pops over and he goes, now I can see what everybody's saying. Yeah, I only stream on Facebook for mostly our Philippine followers who want to watch because they mostly use Facebook. I think eventually we're going to convert to just YouTube because it benefits us more. But I want everybody that wants to watch to be able to be included, and that's why I've left the Facebook link on there for now. But eventually, especially when Jellicana gets her channel back and she can come over to YouTube full time, I'm probably going to make the switch then. and just use our Facebook page to post our YouTube videos and links. Just because we're on pace, we're doing really good over here, and like I said, oh, Jeff's heading over to JP's birthday bash. Yeah, I honestly, as many live chats as I've been hanging out in, everyone's hyping that up. I hope all of you guys have a really great time because as happy as you guys have all been talking about it, I'm so excited for each and every one of you gold prospectors. And I know Colin's leaving there to go there tonight or tomorrow. So I'm really excited for you guys. So I hope you guys have a really great time. Drive safe if you're driving, fly safe if you're flying. I don't know, but definitely have a good time. Find some cool stuff, drink some good beer, and I know what else you'll probably be doing. So have fun doing that too. Jeff, I'm looking at you. Happy birthday, JP. You did another lap around a massive ball of flaming plasma, you legend, you. Honestly, that beard he has makes him a legend. He's got the longest red beard I have ever seen. I wish he was in here tonight because I would say that. But tell JP we all said happy birthday. If he goes live on Saturday, I will go in there and make sure I tell him that all of it's in the blood. Fam says happy birthday because they are getting really wound up about this birthday bash coming up. Him and Benzo, I love those guys, man. Jeff. Um, Also, happy birthday to JP's Bears. You lose me sometimes. Did you mean beers? Beard. Okay, beards. All right. The other Jeff knew what he was talking about. Absolutely. That beard is probably as long as I am. But like I said, everybody in the chat, go check out that video that's posted in the link. We're gonna run out of here. Depending on what happens in the next couple of days, you might see us before Sunday, but we will be here all afternoon or all evening on Monday. It is going to be a insane chat. I already know, so make sure you bring all your friends. All of the gold prospectors headed over to North Carolina this weekend. Stay safe, have a lot of fun. Especially you Brewers, I'm looking at you. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Uh, but yeah, definitely have a great time. I'm really excited for all you guys. Check that link out in the pinned in the chat. Go ahead and leave a comment, show some love to Shelby on that, and we will see you guys by Monday. Yeah, by Monday, and have a good night, everybody.